Tonight I'm taking you behind one of the most requested things I get daily, how to make a grazing table. Come with me. All right, so the first thing I like to start with and I'm famous for is my greenery. This I am lucky enough to actually get from my backyard. It's passion fruit vines. But if you look around your neighborhood, you'll be surprised at what you will find. Or you can go to your local market, your local florist, and you'll find something that's beautiful and green. Even olive branches look amazing as well. And so what I like to do is spread them out, not like that. I'm gonna spread them out all beautifully, and then I'm gonna place my platters on top. I'm gonna set out all the platters first on where I want everything. Once that's looking balanced, that's when I start adding the food. These gorgeous, I don't know what they're called. I just got them off Gumtree and I've cured them with some coconut oil, and over time they've just gotten better and better with age. People always go, but where do you start? Do you know what I do? I start with a pineapple. For some reason, as soon as I put that pineapple down, I just feel centered. I know exactly where I'm going. When I first started doing grazing tables, I actually drew it on a piece of paper. I mapped it out, the pineapple, where I was gonna put the figs, where I was gonna put the cheese, and I put Post-it notes on the platter just to remind me so I didn't run out of time. Now that I've done so many of them, I don't need to do that. But if you are feeling intimidated, if you're doing a grazing table for a really special occasion, you don't want to mess up or you don't want to take too much time, do Post-it notes. It really helps. I like to put the big wheels of cheese on because then that starts to really structure. The smaller bits are the last bits I put on. You gotta love a piece of brie as big as your head, right? The other thing I want to tell you guys, wash your fruit and berries. It's so important. It makes such a difference. You do not want to taste something that's dusty or it's got dirt on it, especially with berries. There's so much pesticides. What I do is I fill the sink up with water, I fill it up and I let them soak. The other thing I do is keep my strawberries or my tomatoes in their punnets. I drop them in the sink full of water, and that way they're all together. There's heaps of holes in your punnets. You can just bring it up, it strains it, and then you can carry it over to your platter. It just makes for less work. I have a few garnishes that I always use, my go-to. Pineapple, pawpaw, pomegranates, and in summer I use mango. I cut the mangoes, pop them out, and then these are my little pockets of color that pop out, that come out, that really bring your platter to life. It's not the weather for it, but normally I love sultana grapes. They're the tiny little grapes. They dangle and cascade so beautifully. One for me. This is a good tip. If you are grazing at somebody else's house, make sure you pre-roll your meats the day before. It makes such a difference, and then all you have to do is pop it out. So these little dishes are actually pot plant sauces, right? They're from Bunnings. So I soak them in water for about 15 to 30 minutes. Then I take them out, I dry them. I smear them with coconut oil. Coconut oil is awesome for this, but you can use vegetable oil as well, but coconut oil is antifungal. So I put that on there and then put them in a moderate oven, so around that 150, 160 mark, and just bake them for about an hour, and then they're just sort of cured, they're ready to go, and as you use them over the years, they get more and more smooth. They're so gorgeous. You can buy chorizo sausages just from your local supermarket. I get them, slice them up on an angle, and give them a quick little fry, and they're a great little meat to have. It's just different from just your usual hams and suppressor. With your ham, see how when it comes out of the deli packet, it's kind of all clumped together? You need to fluff your ham up. Don't just dump it on as a pile there. It's too shaved to kind of roll, but you pile it on. So to save time, I pre-buy my dips. Give it a stir to create volume in it. Then pile it into your platter. So it's got that lovely height. It's all fluffy, it's ready to be dipped into. And again, it just adds to the entire experience of a grazing table. So I don't do cucumber sticks, I do cucumber discs. I cut them on an angle, and then that way people that can't eat gluten or don't want crackers, they can use these as their little crackers. All right guys, so this is a massive wheel of brie, and I want to top it with something to make it look absolutely beautiful. Now these are pickled baby figs, which have got some beautiful syrup on them. Fresh honeycomb always looks impressive. Some pistachios for crunch. There we go. A couple more blueberries. And what finishes this off is the edible flowers. sometimes it takes a little bit of fiddling around. Now that some of it's established, I'm starting to create little corners, little pockets of stuff. Over here is all my antipasto that wasn't planned, but it looks really good, so that's how I'm gonna roll. And then over there is all my meats, and that looks really beautiful too. And then I'm gonna put all my berries through the front here. We're almost on the home stretch. Now we're getting down to the smaller things of the grazing table. So this is, when I'm putting the berries on, I know that I'm coming up to my final touches. So I'm putting all that greenery so that the leaves are nice and flat. And that red just creates a pop of colour. Now we do the cherries. With these ones, you place them more. So sprinkle the blueberries over the top. The last things are the nuts. And what's great about nuts is you can throw them on and trail them out. Dried fruit. Final thing that I put on are my crackers. I like to have an assortment. I love just your normal kind of Captain table, like your thin wafery types. These are my favorite, Lavosh bites. They're my absolute favorite. These are the most popular, which is the cranberry, pumpkin and seed. You can get these from any supermarket, and they have these kind of fruit bits in them, which are great. And then for something more substantial, I do the sesame wheat. I like to stack them up like this with these ones. All right, guys, so that is my grazing table. And so that took 47 minutes to throw together. It will take you longer, trust me. Give yourself a couple of hours when you first start doing them, but trust me, you got this. It's super easy. Remember, it's all about getting the platters first, the levels. Start with your biggest objects first, and then work yourself down until you're onto the berries, nuts, and crackers. Thank you so much. So guys, sometimes it just takes, oops, sorry.